Adjustment of valve clearance. 12-cylinder engine, 500 kVA, S-deck. Note: adjustment of valve clearance should be done only when the cylinder head bolts are tightened to recommended torque. In this case, the torque is 245 to 265 Newton meter. First, let us understand the cylinder order of the V12 engine. If you are looking from the radiator or fan side, the first cylinder will be on the left side, nearest to the fan, and the sixth one nearest to the flywheel. Similarly, the seventh cylinder will be on the right side, nearest to the fan, and the 12th one nearest to the flywheel. Remove the cylinder head covers. Let us identify the intake and exhaust valves. Intake, exhaust, intake, exhaust. Remove the inspection window cover located at the flywheel housing. Rotate the flywheel until the timing pointer at the intersection window points exactly on the zero mark on the rim of the flywheel. Note: take care to prevent any distortion of the timing pointer. At this point, both cylinder number 1 and cylinder number 6 are in TDC. Now we have to find out which cylinder is at the compression or at the beginning of the expansion stroke. Check if the push rods are moving freely. Turn the crankshaft slightly to see whether the intake and exhaust valves maintain still. If the intake and exhaust valves maintain still, it means that the cylinder is at compression. If the cylinder number 1 is at TDC compression, you can adjust intake valve clearance of the first, second, fourth, 9th, 11th and 12th cylinder, and exhaust valve clearance of the first, third, 5th, 8th, 9th and 12th cylinder. To adjust the valve clearance, loosen the lock nut. Use 0.35 mm filler gauge for intake valve and 0.40 mm filler gauge for exhaust valve. Insert the correct feeler gauge between the valve stem and the rocker arm. Adjust the screw until the gauge is just snug fit. Hold the screw in this position and tighten the lock nut. Rotate the crankshaft for 360 degrees and again match the O mark on the flywheel with the pointer at the inspection window to determine cylinder number 6 at TDC compression. Now you can adjust intake valve clearance of 3rd, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th and 10th cylinder, exhaust valve clearance of 2nd, 4th, 6th, 7th, 10th and 11th cylinder. Similarly, you can do valve clearance adjustments of all other S-deck engines. 250 320 kVA 6-cylinder S-deck engine. The cylinder head bolt tightening torque is 245 to 265 Newton meter. Bring cylinder number 1 at TDC compression. Now adjust intake valve clearance of 1st, 2nd and 4th cylinder and the exhaust valve clearance of 1st, 3rd and 5th cylinder. Use 0.30 to 0.35 mm feeler gauge for intake valve and 0.35 to 0.40 mm feeler gauge for the exhaust valve. Now bring cylinder number 6 at TDC compression and adjust intake valve clearance of 3rd, 5th and 6th cylinder and exhaust valve clearance of 2nd, 4th and 6th cylinder. Valve clearance adjustment 140, 160 and 200 kVA 6-cylinder S-deck engine. The cylinder head bolt tightening torque is as follows. First, pre-fastening torque 50 Newton meter. Second, pre-fastening torque 115 plus minus 5 Newton meter. Final turn angle 60 degrees plus minus 3 degrees. Now bring cylinder number 1 at TDC compression and adjust intake valve clearance of first, second and fourth cylinder and the exhaust valve clearance of the first, third and the fifth cylinder. Use 0.30 mm feeler gauge for intake valve and 0.50 mm feeler gauge for exhaust valve. Then bring cylinder number 6 at TDC compression and adjust intake valve clearance of third, fifth and sixth cylinder and exhaust valve clearance of second, fourth and sixth cylinder. Valve clearance adjustment 82.5 to 100 kVA 4-cylinder S-deck engine. The cylinder head bolt tightening torque is as follows. First, pre-fastening torque is 50 Newton meter. Second, pre-fastening torque is 115 plus minus 5 Newton meter. Final turn angle 60 degrees plus minus 3 degrees. Now bring cylinder number 1 at TDC compression and adjust intake valve clearance of first and second and exhaust valve clearance of first and third cylinder. Use 0.30 feeler gauge for intake valve and 0.50 mm feeler gauge for exhaust valve. Bring cylinder number 4 in TDC compression and adjust intake valve clearance of third and fourth cylinder and exhaust valve clearance of second and fourth cylinder.